Welcome to the Maasto Fitness podcast. Today, in episode 29, we are talking about no plan, no action. While if you don't have a plan, you're not going to get the results you want, and why a plan will help you have better, more precise action and more predictable racing and training. So, this is a quick hit podcast where we keep them short and to the point, focusing on the things you can do off the bike to race faster and safer on the bike. At Maasto Fitness, we work with racers remotely in the real world. Many have a life full of commitments, don't have a lot of time to train or ride on the bike. So we take the time they have to train off the bike, make it efficient, and make sure those days on the bike are faster and safer. So, like I said, today, no plan, no action. So, first, I'm going to dive into the importance of why you need a plan, why just winging it doesn't work. If you've ever, for example, if you own a home, if you've ever done a construction project, you know you need a plan. You can't just kind of go to the store every couple hours or every day or every other day or every weekend and expect the plan to work out or expect the project to work out and things to plan out the way you want. Instead, you need to have a plan of action. You need to look at what you're going to do, make measurements, make a list of what you need to get, buy those supplies, and take it piece by piece. And training is kind of the same way. You can't just wake up every day and say, I'm going to do this today. I'll do this tomorrow. I don't feel like training today. I won't. Same deal. We need a plan of action. So consistency is key. A structured plan allows us to properly progress, and ultimately, random workouts lead to random results. We need a plan to know what we're going to do. And that the big takeaway here is random workouts lead to random results. It's not very predictable. We don't train consistently, we don't get consistent results, or we're not preparing our body to have consistent results. Another important part of a plan is having a balanced workload. A plan ensures that both on the bike and off the bike, training is done, it's completed, there's a plan of action, there's intensity, there's duration, we know what we need to do, and it helps us avoid from overtraining or undertraining, which are both things that can very well happen to athletes. I see both just as commonly with coached, or I should say with non-coached athletes. So someone doesn't follow a plan, they don't have a coach, they're just training, and oftentimes they train way too hard. They're going way too hard all the time, doing far too much intensity, and they're burning themselves out. And that's why they're not able to perform on race day, because they're just burning the candle at both ends all week, trying to cram in way too much training, possibly for their fitness, for the time they have available, or their lifestyle goals. All those can happen. Then the other, under training. So not nearly training enough. And when we do that, we're not getting everything we can get from our body. And so we're constantly just in a state of never really building fitness, having consistent fitness. This may be something you've seen or heard of before, where someone will do 1 or 2 days that are pretty big and pretty hard, and then take 4, 5, 6 days off. They come back, do 1, 2 days really big, and then take 5, 6 days off. That's a great example of under training and asking way too much from your body at one period at a time, and then just waiting days until you feel like it, or until you have enough energy again, or maybe time to do something big because you feel like a small training session is not worth your time, which is ultimately not true. The consistency in day out is a big one. Next, a plan is really good with recovery management. Integrating rest days, really easy days with really easy sessions. Either of those strategies really help avoid burnout, injury, and are essential for peak performance. I think one thing that may surprise a lot of racers, that not all top level athletes, I'm talking all sports here, motocross, running, football, soccer, whatever you want it to be. Very few athletes train every single day. And the ones that do have some very, very easy days that are like active recovery. So you're not just going out there hitting it hard every day, asking a lot of your body. The body also needs recovery. And top level athletes recover just as they take recovery just as serious as they do hard training. And so it's no different for us athletes who are lifestyle athletes. We're training on the weekdays, racing on the weekends. Those recovery days are just as important to us and just as key. So that proper recovery management is a big one. And then a plan is going to give you specificity. Like I said, random training, random results. Training, especially when you work with a coach, is going to be specific to your needs, what you're training for, the time you have available to train, all those pieces in like a semi-custom or custom coaching plan. And the ultimate goal, right, is to help improve you on your limiters, help you be a stronger racer, and then focus maybe a little bit more at times on those areas that need help to help you just become a more rounded and a better racer. So the specificity is a big one with training that has a plan and has you taking the right path of action. Now, there's a lot of reasons why winging it doesn't work, and we're not going to spend a ton of time on this because I kind of already went into all of the reasons why you want to plan. So um, I'll just kind of hit on a couple of the key points here why winging it won't work. First, lack of progression. Without a plan, it's really hard to know you're properly building fitness, building stressors properly, letting the body recover when it's time. Without that, we don't really know what's going on. So we're randomly training, we're probably not getting any better at all. Sometimes we may feel like we're getting a little bit better, but are we really? It's really hard to say when we're just winging it day in, day out. A really big one, though, is increased risk of injury. When you're not consistently training, the body is essentially not consistently prepared for stressors. This happens a lot when someone tries to go from 0 to 100 or decides they're going to really hit the weights hard one way one day and then maybe just do that same thing each week. And those type of things can cause muscle imbalances. They can cause injuries. They can cause um, a whole list of things to go wrong. But ultimately, you're not gonna have you're gonna increase the chance of injury, which is the absolute last thing we need. And a big thing with consistent training is consistently stacking those stressors helps build up our body, everything, muscle, bone, ligament, tendon, um, our organ function, like our heart, the strength of our heart, our body's ability to efficiently use carbohydrates and fat. Consistent training does a much better job at that. When you're just randomly doing it, your body's not going to get all those gains. You might feel really good on the day, but we're not getting the long-term results that we want for fitness. And ultimately, that's what we want, right? We don't want to have one good race. We race a season, we race a series, we race multiple times, we ride our dirt bikes multiple times. We don't just want to have 1 or 2 days of the year that we're awesome. We want to be pretty good all the time during race season. That's kind of the goal. Um, Another one, just a big missed opportunity, is a well-rounded plan ensures you hit all the areas needed. Like I kind of was touching on there, mobility, flexibility, strength, fueling, endurance. A well-rounded plan is going to help build all those pieces and have us at a healthier, more sustainable version of ourselves. Winging it, we're often not times looking at our weaknesses. I see sometimes when an athlete is winging it a lot, they're doing the things they're really good at because that's what makes them feel the best and feel like they're doing things right. Is when you constantly have successful sessions. So, like if you're just awesome at going out and hitting the same 10-mile mountain bike trail, well, you're probably just going to keep hitting that as hard as you can and try to PR and maybe go down the Strava rabbit hole. Where instead, maybe we need more threshold work, maybe we need more zone 2 work. But if we're just going out and kind of doing that tempo-y effort, is what I would probably say the effort would be, kind of like a zone 3 effort every week. Well, the body's not developing and we're not working on our weaknesses, which if our goal is to race a dirt bike fast, we're not reaching our goal or we're not working towards our goal. Another big one with random training is just the mental strain. Getting up and not knowing what you're going to do, honestly, that would personally drive me crazy, having literally followed a training plan coaching for, I don't know, over a decade now, maybe close to 12 years. That strain of just kind of waking up, not knowing what you're going to do, not knowing what you should do, and then just kind of going out and winging it. To me, that would give me a lot of mental stress. I'm very much a plan guy, got to have a plan of action, how I'm going to do it, what I'm going to do, when I'm going to do it. And so not having that piece every day on me, being able to open my phone and see exactly what I need to do in the app, definitely would be tough for me. And I think a lot of athletes maybe don't realize it does create a little more mental strain. When you're trying to be efficient with your life, you got a lot of things going on, you want to train, race, mental clarity is a big one. And removing that stressor, I think for me personally, just frees up a lot of space for other things that are important, just knowing that I have a plan and what to do. So like I said, a plan is going to just be personalized, tailored to you with any semi-custom or custom coaching. And it's going to be able to hit your goals and get what you need. And at Maasto Fitness, we have a couple levels of coaching. So we've got our single jump program, self-led, made for racers, tons of tools to customize it, and tons of resources. So For a small monthly investment, you have like a really robust training plan and a lot of resources to help you be at your absolute best. And then on top of that, we've got semi-custom and custom coaching where we're going in and filling out all the pieces for you and working together to make sure we're building towards your goal. So lots of ways you can get a plan that works for you and is built for racers. And it's important to know that there's all these plans that we have at Maasto Fitness, and anyone who's following a plan, there's adjustability in it. So you can't be hard fixed on your goals all the time. Sometimes goal needs to adjust due to how the race season's going, how your body's reacting, how life is going, and that's an important part of a plan too. It's not like hard, got to do this all the time. It can be adjusted. And at Maasto Fitness, all of our plans are designed for that because racing is an ever moving target and we need to be able to adjust kind of on the fly in a sense to make sure we're meeting our body and mind where it's at to get the best out of it and still have successful race seasons, still stay healthy and still reach our goals. Now, as you know, I focus on off the bike, but I do think it's important just to touch on the bike. A lot of us, we don't get a lot of time to ride. Like for me, I get to ride once per week outside of races. And I know a lot of people don't even get to do that. They can only really make racing work because of logistics of getting to a track, a trail to ride on a weekday is really hard to do. But so for me, I get 1 day a week. I go out and ride. Sometimes I have 60 minutes total. Sometimes I have 3 hours total. It can vary. But either way, when I know what my time is going to be for the week, I set up a little goal of what I'm going to do. Am I going to repeat the same section and do like essentially like motos, 10-minute motos, 15-minute motos with little rest intervals that I have hydration and nutrition at, so I'm ready to refuel? I'm going to go out and do something long where I try to do 20, 30 minutes, whatever the trail allows me to do, or the track allows me to do at what type of an effort, a race effort, try to go above race effort, try to push it really hard. Whatever it is, I always set a goal. And I feel like sometimes that's a missed opportunity for racers. They go out and they just ride. They they don't really have a plan or a goal. And this was something I was really bad at in high school long ago. Me and my buddies after school would meet at one of the various motocross tracks we could ride at. And we would basically just practice doing whips for an hour or 2 hours. So basically just sitting around our bikes, taking turns, going over a jump, doing whips. And, that never really made me any better. It was fun to do whips. That was way back before social media or really even getting an instant shot of what you did. So we take pictures and then have to wait to see how they look to see if our whips were awesome. Not really beneficial. Don't have those photos anymore, so I don't even know if I actually could do whips at all. But I definitely wasn't doing anything to progress my racing. So think of that when you've got time on the bike and days on the bike. Make a plan and try to stick to that plan as best you can so you're able to progress on the bike and not just kind of get stuck in a rabbit hole riding or just riding around or saying, oh, I'm starting to get tired, I'll take a break. Have a plan. I'm going to ride to this point and take a break. I'm going to try to stay at this intensity. I'm going to try to do repeats like this. So keep that in mind. So as a final thought, have a plan. Make sure that you are following that plan, but being realistic with your body and where it's at. Just don't wing it. There's lots of we have at Maasto Fitness, we have lots of resources. And I feel like one big thing I see time and time again when someone starts following the plan, they start to see the success, which is what I'm going to talk about next week, actually. A relationship I have with an athlete and how the trust we built over time helped them to be able to progress, be better, faster, stronger, and really getting them out of their comfort zone, making off the bike made a big difference on the bike. So we're going to actually talk more about that next week. And keep in mind, at Maasto Fitness, we build strength training, endurance training, mobility for riders and racers. Plus, we have tons of hydration and nutrition guides, monthly call for all levels of athletes. And then at our higher programs, we have various levels of engagement you can have with me as a coach too, to help you and guide you and analyze your training through a couple tools. So with that, if you want to give it a try, our single jump training program, I can hook you up with a week for free. All you need to do is send me a message at Maasto Fitness on Instagram. See you guys next week.